G'day mates from down under. Australia is home to diverse landscapes, diverse wildlife, and diverse people. And we are so excited to finally be here to experience as much of it as possible. Late last night we landed in Brisbane, and today we are stepping into the spirit of adventure and conservation that runs deep here in Australia by visiting the Australia Zoo, home of the legend himself, Steve Irwin. We'll also be exploring the city of Brisbane and enjoying its beautiful river views, learning a bit about its brews, eating good food, and we'll see some art. If you joined us in the last video, my parents flew in from Texas to meet us and explore beautiful Sydney with me and my husband Ivan. Last night we flew from Sydney to Brisbane, and this morning we caught the train to Beerwar, where a free Australia Zoo shuttle picked us up, and now we have finally made it to a massive line. Crikey, that's a long line. We were told this is the most crowded day they've had all winter. But we're finally in, and immediately we are struck by how massive this zoo is. Everything is so spread out, there's trees everywhere. Anaconda. You kind of feel like you're actually in the wild. And hopefully that means the animals can feel that way too. But you might be thinking, really? A zoo? Almost every major city in the world has a zoo. That's generic. And to be honest, I thought the same thing. Last year, Ivan and I went on a safari in Kenya, and it was so incredible to see the animals in the wild that I didn't think I would step foot in the zoo again for at least 10 years. But so many of our Aussie friends and friends that have lived in Australia put it so high up on our must-do list that I decided to trust in them and booked a flight to Brisbane pretty much just for this. So fingers crossed that they're right. Crikey mates, it's our first crocodile in Australia here at the Australia Zoo. And this is a big one.
This is Australia Zoo's largest croc, Acco.
Wow, what a beauty.
So Aki here was a smart guy, just hang around the fishermen and eat their scraps. Because he was so close to them, they're like, oh, he's a problem alligator. So they had to rescue him here.
Smart or lazy? I guess a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Say crikey.
Crikey!
And that brings us to one of the most special things about this place. This is the home of Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter, who, as 90s kids, was a huge figure in our childhood. He inspired us to seek adventure, to love and care for all living things, and to work to understand the misunderstood. Also to chase our pets around the house, wrestling them and narrating everything they do in the same bad Steve Irwin accent that I'm reviving today. Here in the park, we are experiencing his legacy in such a real way. And learning a bit more about Steve's life and the zoo's history is amazing. Steve's parents actually started this park in 1970, so he grew up here, surrounded by wildlife. He was helping catch small problem crocodiles by the time he was 9 years old. In 1991, he took over management of this park, met his wife Terry, and shortly after they were married and spent their honeymoon shooting the first season of what became The Crocodile Hunter. In the meantime, they grew this park with a vision of it becoming the world's best zoo. His mission was conservation through exciting education, because when you love something, you want to take care of it. And that's still the mission today, where the park is now run by his wife and kids. We actually might be seeing them today. We've heard they may be feeding the crocodiles. We've been to plenty of zoos in our lives, but never on a different continent. It is so cool to see the fascinating and unique creatures of Australia up close and in such abundance.
We're headed in. I can't do it. All right, we're headed into the bushlands.
Brew heaven. It's just incredible to be here, honestly, like seeing all these animals that we just don't necessarily have a home, and they're incredible. Wow. This is so awesome. How amazing.
They really are that soft.
Thank you, kangaroo.
Thank you, bud.
You are my sun. You are my sunshine. You are my sun.
There is so much joyful laughter all around as we get up close and personal with the world's largest marsupials. They may be cute and soft, but they are also powerful. They can hop over 35 miles per hour and jump up to 30 feet at a time. And we're jumping to Australia's other most famous marsupial, the koalas. Koalas are one of my favorite animals. They're so cute and peaceful, and when they decide to play, they are so funny. They live on a diet of mostly eucalyptus, which is toxic to most animals, so they have no competition for food. They have special liver enzymes and gut bacteria that help them break down the eucalyptus, and they sleep almost 20 hours a day while their bodies are hard at work digesting. Because they're always sleeping in the trees, they have thick pads of fur on the back of their legs to keep them comfortable. They can't really feel it, and we were allowed to pet one there. Koalas are so unbelievably cute, it almost feels unreal. Like, do they really exist, or are they just stuffed animals? And turns out,
It feels like a stuffed animal too.
one of the top things on my Australia bucket list is to see koalas in the wild. It's very rare, but I've found a place that we're gonna visit in a few days where it sounds like it's possible. My hopes are really high, but all of my Aussie friends said don't get my hopes up, that they've never even seen that before, so I am just trying to soak up every minute right now with these koalas just in case. A few steps away, we see a wombat on a walk. I've never seen a wombat before, but he seems so happy and cute. It pretty much immediately becomes one of my favorite animals ever. And turns out they are the closest living relatives of koalas. Guess I have a type. But marsupials are not the only incredible creatures Australia has to offer. We see so many impressive and beautiful birds.
It's a black-necked stork. His name is Douglas. He's got the middle part going. That branch cannot support your weight, buddy.
But of course, this zoo is the dream of the crocodile hunter himself. So the most important part is the reptiles. Let's get a look at them in action at the Wildlife Warrior Show in the Crocoseum. And turns out the show is hosted by the Irwins today. Steve's son Robert came out to welcome us to the show, and his daughter Bindi is going to be feeding the crocs with her husband Chandler.
And I want to say a huge welcome to Australia Zoo. I want to say a very personal and heartfelt thank you. It's all of you guys that keep Dad's dream alive. This huge, big hub of conservation gets to be what it is. This is truly what Dad wanted. He wanted all of you guys to come out here in this glorious Coliseum full of crocodiles and enjoy and be inspired by our world's unique wildlife. Thank you very much for keeping his mission, his message, and his legacy alive and thriving to this day. Who wants to see Bindi feed the crocs? Yeah?
And you probably recognize Bindi for being an Irwin, but you also might recognize her as the season 21 winner of Dancing with the Stars.
Today, we're actually feeding a crocodile. He's the only crocodile here at Australia Zoo who's managed to bite a few people.
He was one of Dad's favorites, but he was extremely dangerous, as he still is. Everyone's gotten away with their lives, but man, he's scary. So, shall we bring him out?
Yeah, I'll bring him.
Not only are they teaching us how beautiful and impressive these animals are, but also how to stay safe in crocodile territory, which is super helpful because we are headed to crocodile territory in the next video.
We'll get that power from his tail, put it on a strike. Look up here at the food, Graham. Stop
Graham
looking
is
at my
just
legs.
looking
Look
at
up
your
here,
legs.
buddy. There you go, nice job. You know what, you just have that, you're big and scary. Give it up for Graham.
Dad created the Crocoseum to be able to give you the ability to see crocodiles for truly the prehistoric marvels that they are. He wanted people to be able to come to the Crocoseum to watch a crocodile try to kill and eat us. He wanted people to see the crocodiles in how beautiful they really are, to be able to understand how to safely work around crocodiles, to understand how to live safely along crocodiles, and to also really appreciate them because they are such beautiful modern day dinosaurs. Crocodiles can come vertically out of the water nearly their entire body length. This enables them to grab a fruit bat on the wing, to grab a bird mid-flight. But first, what Graham likes to do is he likes to check the tail walk ramp to see if I'm going to fall down onto his head. Good job, Graham! That was awesome!
I've seen crocodiles in person before, and I've seen them hunt on TV, but seeing them hunt in person is truly incredible. I really do feel a new love and respect for crocodiles. I mean, look at this! But crocodiles aren't the only reptiles Australia is known for. There are over 869 reptile species native to this country. Tons of them are venomous, including the most venomous snake in the world. We see dingoes and Tasmanian devils, which are nothing like in Looney Tunes, and find out there is another species of kangaroos. The ones we met earlier were red kangaroos, and these are gray kangaroos. They're a little smaller than the red ones. Oh my god. Beautiful and soft and pooping. Turns out our friends were right. Today has been absolutely incredible. Definitely the best zoo experience we've ever had and the top thing we've done in Australia so far. But we've only been here a few days and there is so much left to explore, starting out with the city of Brisbane. G'day from Brisbane! Today we are starting out with a recommendation from our Uber driver touring XXXX Brewery, where we've heard you actually get a great history lesson of the city along with learning about and tasting the beer. But turns out the section about the city's history was being renovated, so we just got a whole lot of beer. Which is still awesome. We've been to breweries before, but never one of this scale. It is so cool to see the lab where they're constantly testing the beer, the massive machinery, the bottling and the kegging lines. But to me, the coolest part is learning about their green practices. This brewery is certified carbon neutral. They have tons of solar panels, they capture and use the biogas from the brewing process, and the most interesting part to me is that no waste goes to waste. The used grain is sold and reused in animal feed, the wastewater is collected, filtered with reverse osmosis, and reused, and the used yeast is actually sold and used to make Vegemite. When we finally get the chance to try the beer, we really feel like we're doing our part to save the world. We also had to try their beer-battered fish and chips made with 4X beer. The food in Brisbane has been great. Australia is such a diverse country, and we've eaten super good Japanese, Brazilian, and Mediterranean food here. But you haven't really experienced Brisbane until you've spent some time on the river. And the great thing is, like in Sydney, you can do so with public transportation. It's a beautiful, fair morning on the ferry. This one, the river is like the heart of Brisbane. It's always fun to be out on it, especially when it's public transportation and you can just use Apple Pay so easily. Head on an adventure. We took a ferry to South Bank and enjoyed the beautiful park, the stunning views, the gallery of modern art featuring some incredible work by Aboriginal artists, and we saw the lagoon. Brisbane is one of the only cities in Australia that's not right off the beach,
So they made their own. And this one doesn't have crocodiles in it.
Back on the other side of the river, we decided to see where all the locals were on a Friday night and go there. And turns out that meant visiting another brewery. This one has beautiful river views, live music, and unique craft brews. We have had such an amazing time exploring Brisbane. It has truly been so inspiring, seeing the wildlife and conservation and the legacy that Steve Irwin left behind. Learning about XXXX Brewery's efforts to reduce their footprint in the world. Appreciating the diversity of the food and artwork, and taking in every moment of beauty on the river. Please hit those like and subscribe buttons to join us as we explore more of this beautiful country. It seriously helps us so much. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Until then, watch one of these videos. YouTube thinks you'll really like it.